I used to do a radio show about Bollywood in college.
Oh, really?
And at the time, Salman and Katrina were going out, and we used to call
Ah.
her Bhabhi, Bhabhi ji. Assalamu alaikum. Mera naam hai Adeel, and with me today is
Harsha. Harsha came from India, been in the US 5 years.
All right. Thank you, Harsha. We thought we'd do something a little bit different because Desis, the Desiyon mein kaun aata hai, Harsha? The Pakistanis, there's Indians. Who else?
Nepali, probably, right?
Nepalis, Bangladeshis.
Bangladesh, yeah, I think so. I don't know if they want to be a part of it, but I think
Yeah.
right?
We can include them, but
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, but Pakistanis and Indians for sure.
Yes.
Okay, so Harsha, thank you for taking the time
Yeah, this is
to
cool.
meet with me. We are being so American right now because Harsha sits in a building 10 minutes from where I am.
That is
But
true.
we're doing this online. But it is what
Hey,
it is.
time is money, you know?
Time is money. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Harsha. Where did you grow up? Where do you come from in India? What brought you to the US?
Well, I grew up in Hyderabad in India, been there for 26 years of my life. And then I actually, Adeel, I didn't know where I wanted to go. I wanted to do my MBA. It was not that it has to be US, it could be anywhere. So I applied to Australia, Canada, a bunch of universities, and whoever wanted to take me with scholarship, I was going to go. And US did that. So I came to Washington, DC, did my MBA. So it's been 5 years now that I moved in 2014 for my MBA 2-year program. Been here ever since.
And that's so true for a lot of us, right? कि किसी तरीके से बाहर निकलना है. We don't know where. As long as
whoever takes us, we will go.
takes us. Why do you think that is? What creates this fascination to go abroad? Are we running towards something or running away from something?
I personally was running away. I can't speak to others. When I was in India, very protected lifestyle, like I guess for most of us, especially being a woman and all of that. Then I got a chance to visit Shanghai, China, for a year because of my work, and that's when I actually grew up. That's when I was like, oh, what do I like? What do I not like? And I was an engineer, like I feel like most of us, and that's when I was like, I hate my job. I don't like what's happening. And so I think, and I loved being abroad, It was super cool. Like nobody to bother me, no one to tell me when to come home. I could go for a walk whenever I want to. Simple things like that were super cool. And so when I came back to India, I was like, oh my gosh, like I want to be abroad. That's just what I want because there was so much more freedom, in just pursuing a different job. It was just very fascinating. So I was running away from all of that and I wanted to be abroad.
So 5 years later in the US, are you able to achieve all of those things?
Yes, 100%. I am very happy here. I'm the only thing I miss about India is my family.
Yeah.
But other than that, and my mom visits very often. My cousins now also want to join me, so I'm excited for them to come whenever. But other than that, I don't. I'm very happy here.
That's
and
great.
I married a non-Indian, and so I have even like no more reason, right, to go back. And I have a son now, and this is my life, and I'm really happy.
You're anchored. You're grounded.
Yes.
And so you married someone who's from.
So he was born in Korea, and then he moved to US when he was 7 years old. Right. So I guess Asian American. And we met in business school. For all those people who want to come and fall in love in a country, like it can happen. It happened to me.
You are living the dream of.
I am living the dream.
Teenage Indian boys and girls. Go abroad, find love, huh?
Yeah.
A friend of mine was saying the other day, the American dream, and you either making money or being successful or making it comes at a great cost because whatever you get, the call it capitalism or whatever, it also takes a lot from you. It drains you. Is that true?
It is so true. Like you said, I think now there's a well-oiled machine in our lives. So I think you and I we just have to keep it going, right? Until we want to get the next shiny object. So for now, it's decent. But to get here, Adeel, like Indian conversion rate, right? Like INR to USD. Like I took loans, even though I got 80% scholarship, so 20% gap tha, I had to take huge amount of loan, right? And then there's interest rate in India and that you have to repay. Like my grandmom gave me all her retirement pension. My mom sold her gold. My uncle put his house. Like it's put out. Like my whole family said, take all that you have and you can go. It's a huge risk. And what if I failed all of them? Like I come back to India with no money with loans. So and
It's
then
scary.
it's scary. And then when I joined business school, I had no idea how to study. We just do it for the mechanics, right? Okay, exam ho gaya, whatever, we are done. and and so I remember the first day of business school, we were supposed to read like a case study and come to school.
Yeah.
And so I prepared, I read the whole case study, I knew all the answers, and I'm sitting like, professor kuch puche and I'll answer. And I thought the question would be something like, so in which year did, I don't know, Amazon originate or whatever, right? ऐसा लगा कि those are the questions they'd ask. And then the first question was like, so why do you think Jeff Bezos did this, or why do you think Amazon was founded in Seattle? मुझे लगा यार, why do you think, why would I think anything? Like, answers है, तुम question पूछो बस, like don't ask me to think. At least that's how I grew up.
Yeah.
So even studying was just, how to study was also a challenge. And so maybe some of my other friends found it easier. For me, it was a challenge to just understand how to read these case studies and how to get good at it.
So I'm very proud of you for very smartly weaving in some Hindi.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
So maybe we start off like this. We don't fathom the idea of how huge the US is
Yes.
until we land here. The example always growing up was it from California to New York, it takes 6 hours. And I imagine India is a little bit like that too. So from just on the other side of the border, we don't really understand how huge India is, and not everyone speaks Hindi, right?
Not everyone does. And so I feel bad when I'm in like Uber or Lyft and somebody wants to talk to me in Hindi, whether they're from India or from anywhere else. I get embarrassed. I don't want them to think I'm acting off, ki my Hindi is not good, but because my mother tongue is Telugu, like I really don't know Hindi that well. And so you're right. So I'm from South India, right? And so North is where you have all the Hindi speaking people usually. South, we have several languages. So, but Hyderabad, where I'm from, we have a lot of Muslim population. And so a lot of people speak Hindi. And our Hindi, some Urdu also mixed actually in Hyderabad. And so it has a very funny accent to it. It's because of that influence, right, from the Nawabi culture and all of that. Hyderabad is very famous for that. But then you'll see us both coexist. The Muslims trying to speak Telugu funnily, the Telugu is trying to speak Hindi funnily. It's just really funny. And I know we were talking about this before. In India, just growing up, I was supposed to dislike Pakistanis. Like no data behind it, right?
Yeah.
No research, nothing. It's just like, yeah, we should all not like Pakistanis. I think when I came to US and I met all of you, it's a different perspective. Like all of you are so well educated and just so respectful. And so it was interesting. We were supposed to be rivals, but here we are, like really good friends. And like you're almost like family to us here in Seattle, Adeel, and I have other friends too. So it's been interesting. I think the one funny thing is my mom came to visit us when I was in business school,
right.
And I was having a party, and I invited a few friends over, and she at the time was cooking for my friends, and so she said, "Who's coming? Where's everyone from?" And I went through like different countries, and I said Pakistan, and she's like, "Huh? I'll be cooking for Pakistanis." Like she was very like, "Huh, really?" And then took her a while. I said, "Yeah, mom, they're really nice people. Like you'll see them." And then I think she started talking to them, and she really enjoys it. Now she's watching Pakistani serials, and she loves Fawad Khan, right?
Yeah.
She loves him, and it's just all changed. And I think that my whole family also has now opened up to this global view.
Oh no!
Which was very different.
I remember the Hyderabadi biryani that she made. I think she was really proud of me for taking 3 servings.
She was very happy you were eating nicely. Yes.
Similar for us. We grew up reading about how India is you were polite in saying dislike, but we read about, I think, both sides. The other country is supposed to be the enemy. I spent 1 month in India in 2008, and we got to stay with a family in Delhi, and then we got to go. We spent a week in Pondicherry.
Okay. So you saw both the words, Delhi and Pondicherry, like north and south. Okay.
And then we took a train ride back, and it was really scary also because the short anecdote is India, you get, regardless of who's traveling to what country between the two countries, the visa is for cities, not for the country.
I know, you told me, and I was so surprised. I had no idea.
And so Pondicherry se Vapsi pe, we were supposed to drive to Chennai, take a train, which is, I believe, 36 or 40 hours or some crazy number of hours back to Delhi. And so the most filmy thing happened. I kid you not, we got to the train station, the train's right there, we start running and the train is moving. And some of us got there, it was a group of 30 people. Some of us didn't. Actually, I don't even know if I should say this on video. but we were in Chennai and we didn't have the visa.
Yeah.
And then worked out, you know how it is.
Yeah.
जो ticket collectors होते हैं, TTs, or what do you call it?
TTs, yes.
TT को किसी ने local friend of ours, he was like, कुछ कर दें भाई.
Yeah.
And so we got tickets for the next day. Obviously, didn't have any spaces, so we were in between the train trolleys.
Oh.
With our stuff, but it was super fun because it was the summer and we could open the doors and we would sit out and it was nice and cool. And so I was sitting with a friend and so I get a tap on my back and I look back and it's a police officer and he's like, he starts screaming at me and he's like, this is illegal. It's not, you are not supposed to do that because it's dangerous. And also because sometimes dacoits will try to get in. And so he's screaming at me and I'm like, Bhaiya, sorry, maaf kar do. I'm trying to speak like a local because I don't want to be caught as a Pakistani. And he has this thing written out, plastic coated and everything, written in Hindi, which are the rules. And so he's like, Pado, read this. And I'm like, I can't read it. I don't know how to read it, but I'm not saying it. I'm just saying.
Wait, so you can't read Hindi?
I can't read the script.
Right? Okay.
So I can speak it, but I'm pretending like, hey, bhaiya, mujhe pata hai, maaf kar do. It was super scary. But then someone intervened and then they were like, kuch kar le, intezam,
yeah.
Kuch help kar le, bhai, bhaiya kar le. But it was...
wow. But your heart must have been in your mouth, I feel like.
Oh, yeah, it was thumping like that. But India was such a great experience. It opened my eyes. We're so much more similar.
Yeah.
And we know it, I guess, at the back of our minds. Anyway, Acha, what else should we talk about?
I think we were talking about kind of what should immigrants like us be aware when they come to the US, I guess.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about that too. And I was telling you, Adeel, which is you learn somehow, right? Like you'll end up learning in your own funny way. But I think for MBA specifically, just how to dress, because I was in the East Coast, and for people who've not been to the US before, when I was in India, I was like, yaar, kahi to admission mil jaye. And people would, when I would do informational calls, people would say, so which part of US do you want to live in? And I'm thinking, I don't really care. Like, I just want to go to the US, like what, you know?
Yeah.
But East Coast, as you know, is more like political. People are well dressed, and even jab metros mein aap jate ho, to people will wear heels. Like if you're wearing flats, I think you're looked down like, where did this girl come from?
Yeah.
It's just very well dressed, especially DC where I was. So I just didn't know how to get ready, and I was telling you, ki hamare India mein there's, at least from Hyderabad, there's one weather, like really hot. And so you dress accordingly. 365 days, that's how you dress up. And here we had fall, we had winter, we had summer, we had spring. And did you know you don't wear white during fall? Like you have colors like orange and red, like these things like that. Like I had no idea, and I wish I knew and read about them, so that I'm well dressed when I'm going, especially to business school. I think if you're here as maybe masters or whatever, I don't know if it matters, but MBA is like consulting and networking, and so I think it's important to know how to dress up. Like,
are you being elitist about your MBA versus just a regular?
I know I am anti, because I've not heard from my other friends complain like this. Like I have friends who did masters and they never had issues like this. I've had, because ek din, Adeel, we had consultants from Bain, come to our college.
Yeah.
To talk about Bain, and 250 students were in that auditorium.
Yeah.
Adeel, I was the only person among those 250 who wore a white suit and a white skirt. Everyone was black and like dark blue, right? मुझे लगा सूट पहनना है तो सूट पहनूंगी, so I wore white, and I looked like an idiot. Like the entire auditorium, I was the only one in white. So much so the Bain consultant called me out in the auditorium. He was like, oh, I'm glad all of you are dressed up, in the most safe colors. Coming dressed in white is probably, I said, kuch so, like he literally called me out and like put me down, because I was dressed like that. And so Now I'm laughing about it, but think of it at that time. No
Yeah,
job, you're desperate to for people to like you, and here I am
yeah,
sticking out like a sore thumb. So I
yeah.
think, if people can somehow spend time learning how to dress up, especially if you're in the East Coast, it might help.
Well, let me just say that that was really rude of the person to do that.
There's a
Because
consultant, Adeel. What do you expect? No,
I
just kidding.
know, I
Yeah.
know, I know. But yeah, it's a good lesson. I think the lesson here is to read up, to talk to people, and just so people who are in that phase right now can benefit. You touched upon the East Coast is more, so New York, Wall Street,
Yeah.
financial district, financial organizations, DC,
Yeah.
White House, politics,
Virginia. Yeah.
right? So these colder places also, but also darker colors, more formal in dressing.
Yeah.
Usually charcoal, gray, blacks are safe.
Yes.
West Coast is a little bit more chill.
Yeah.
California, which is where Silicon Valley is
Yeah.
big, it's more tech.
Yeah.
California is more chill. Hollywood,
Yeah.
not hippie, but Seattle is more hippie. But
Yes.
right, so it's not to the extent where chappal or shorts or t-shirt pehen ke aa sakte. Maybe some people can pull that
Some
off.
people can do that too. Yeah.
Some people can pull that off.
My office,
So
maybe I see people dressed like that here.
yeah, especially techies. If you're in a tech organization, if you're in part of an engineering team, you could totally do that, and it's okay.
But the funny thing, though, or funny or whatever, is that I have not seen any Pakistani woman struggle with this. It was just me who was struggling. I'm not kidding. They're so well dressed. I mean, I tell them all the time, like they know what makeup to wear, what to wear. Like, super impressive.
Oh, well, on behalf of all the Pakistani women,
Just
I
don't
thank you
say.
for your kind words. Okay, good. So towards the end, I have to ask you: are you into Bollywood at all?
I am, yes. I love Bollywood songs. I think that's a part of me I will take to my death. Like I'm a very loud person who loves Bollywood songs like Kala Chashma songs or whatever, all the remix, Aankh
Yeah.
Mare. Like I love these songs. So yes.
So who's your favorite Khan?
I was thinking about it when you asked. I think if I have to pick between among the three, it was Salman for a long time. I
Uh-huh.
used to have this huge cutout in my bedroom when I was
Really?
young. But now it's definitely Shah Rukh Khan, just because I think his personality is really nice. But a non-Khan I really like is Ranveer Singh, actually. I think
Oh
he's
yeah.
really cool. I think I really like him. I like his energy.
I think the Khan era was such a, like, I think that was the last generation of superstardom,
Yes.
and the closest anyone's getting is Ranveer and
Shah Rukh, yeah.
Ranveer.
Yeah, true.
Uh,
Who do you
in
like in heroines?
Katrina Kaif is my favorite.
Yeah.
Has been for a long. We used to call. I used to do a radio show about Bollywood in college,
Oh, really?
and at the time, Salman and Katrina were going out, and we used to call her Bhabhi ji. And so she has remained a favorite since. All right. So on that note, thank you again for
Yeah.
taking the time, Harsha. Maybe we should do a part 2 at some point.
Yeah, probably. This is fun. Thanks, Adeel.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.